What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to Fallen London, or Sunless Sea in Fallen London, I suppose would be the proper way to put that in order. It's important to get things in the right order. You got to do it. You got to make sure. If you get things all out of order, you get your ass on your head, you get things in weird places where they're not supposed to be, funny smells, all that kind of stuff. Today we're going to be adventuring. Yesterday I showed you my super secret trick for farming up the Z monsters. Let me turn the music back on here so that I've got a little bit of noise to kind of obstruct my incredibly noisy keyboard. And so today we're just going to be adventuring. We got a port report commission that sent us out from the Admiralty. There we go. That's the word. I don't know why. My brain is just slow today. My brain is like in molasses. It's because I think I started recording a little bit earlier in the morning than I normally do, just because I got to stream this evening. And so I'm trying to get everything into the spot that it needs to go, like scheduling wise. So we're going to go down to Canal, and at Canal we're going to grab the Admiralty report. Then we're going to cut east and we're going to go to the Canet if we can. I'm going to see if we can slay a few of the monsters along the way, like the sharks and whatnot, because I am interested in sort of tempting fate that way. I know what I'm getting into with the sharks, and I know that we can take them. I think we can outpace them by using the same strategy that we used previously. If you look up at the top right hand corner, I've applied a whole bunch of my secrets to mirrors. I'm going to try and keep my terror low by taking the long way everywhere, because now we have to spend 100 echoes every time we want to lower our terror, and it's expensive, but it's consistent. I mean, if you have the Lifeberg farming mechanism, you should be able to farm up easily 4,000, 5,000 echoes pretty quickly. I think the other thing that I'm pretty stoked about doing is getting a trade ship. That might be the ship that I upgrade to. I might go to the trade ship, anything with a bigger hold so that I can run more wine down to the dry-throated monks. There's the Canal. It's a little bit further down than I expected it to be. Sometimes, I don't know, every time I go down here, I feel like the Canal is a lot longer away than I remember. And it's weird because you would think I would remember eventually that the flight or that the float or that whatever we're doing here, the voyage, there we go. I told you, my brain is broken today. I don't know what my brain is doing. Like, vocabulary is not happening. I basically have been calling things like the thing all day, but like, hand me the thing. Like, it's bad today. It's really, really bad today. But what I'm trying to say is that when our voyage comes to its completion, I never remember that this is actually kind of a long sailing trip. Let's go ahead and put in at port. And while we're here, this is locked for what reason? Oh, you need 22 fuel. Okay, so you need loads and loads of fuel to go up to the surface. Let's listen for surface gossip. The card game ends badly. Oh, good. We got the moves in the great game. That's worth a lot of money. So that's fun. And then we'll get the port report. And then we'll get the Admiralty commission. Okay, so we've got those, and so for now, we just want to head east. We're gonna go up to Godfall because I brought wine for them. Not very much. I only brought like one load of wine, but it's 40 echoes that we wouldn't have made otherwise. So we might as well be on our game. Well, we already have 300 echoes waiting for us when we get back to London. 340, adding a little bit to the pot never hurts. Let's make the quick jaunt across here to this little rock right here. These dudes are still dangerous. I tend to stay away from them. They do have decent enough drops, but I tend to avoid them just because anything that can one-shot you at a range is bad. And so no matter how we mess with our distance with these guys, no matter how we try and fight off our illumination, they tend to win. Or at least they tend to get at least one shot off unless I crit. And I'm just not willing to rely on criticals that much. Some people really like throwing their cares to Fate, but Fate does not seem to like me. I don't know if I went over to Fate's house for a party and like farted in the entryway or something, but Fate is not stoked by my company, and so I've learned not to trust it at all. In Godfall, we will do the of wine. There it is. We get 150 echoes for that. We'll go with of shouting to get the port report. From here, we want to go down to Polythreme. And you may note that Polythreme is unlocked right now. That's because I got a port report, the blind bruiser sent me to Polythreme when I was trying to farm Lifebergs in between episodes, and so I had to go down there. I didn't do any events or anything, though. I went down there, I dropped off the Crate of Souls, and I came back. The blind bruiser, I don't know. He always shows up at the worst times. Like when I'm trying to do something else, he always makes an appearance, and I'm like, damn it. And I think that's the point of the blind bruiser, is just to mess with your plans. Actually, I think my best course of action was to go from the corner right there out to this light and then down to Polythreme. But since we're not going to make it anyways, I'm just going to make the run for it. God, our terror is rising so fast considering how much money I just spent to offset it. These voyages are really, really bad for the soul, apparently. Let's go down to Polythreme. We'll grab the port report from here. I think we're going to get some freebie tear, although if I saw that out my window too, I doubt that I would be catching 40 winks. I might not even catch one wink, to be honest. I don't want to catch any winks when I'm out on the ocean. The ocean should not be winking at me. That should not be a function that the ocean does. I guess I could have gotten the wink from the other sailors, but I prefer not to get it from them either. I mean, it reinforces the way, it makes you feel good inside. I mean, it makes you feel self-confident, but I'm not interested. Let's go around this way and Polythreme. We'll gather intelligence. So we got the port report. We can do shore leave. Is there anything here now? Just the Stygian ivory that they will buy for 30 echoes. Ah, well. It might be worthwhile. I think Z stories are what you can trade up and wither for Stygian ivory, I think? I don't know. I'll have to look that one up, but I think from here... Oop, that's not what I wanted. Let's go back down this way. We'll probably head to the east. And we'll see what we can find out here. I don't really recall. I think we had that island with the rats that were fighting the guinea pigs out here somewhere. Pretty close, actually. I don't think it's too far out. I'll save a little bit of terror by making a run for this weird vascular island. I don't know. It's sending out tendrils, which is worrisome. It's called crab cake. Crab cakes are one of those foods where, like, every now and again I have a good crab cake, but most of the time I dislike them. It's just rare, but I think it might be because I get my crab cakes from the deli at Rayleigh's instead of getting them from somebody that actually makes seafood. I don't know. That might be where my plan is falling apart. I think this time, if we do this quest, we're probably going to side with the rats. Oh, I'm sorry, we're probably going to side with the guinea pigs. Oh, good. We saved ourselves a little bit of terror right there. We caught it right at the end. Well, that's not so bad. We'll also gain a couple more secrets here. Did I get a secret? I did. Let's continue upgrading our mirrors. Since we can upgrade our irons with guns, I think I'm just going to focus on mirrors really heavily so that we can illuminate faster. Okay, and so a lonely desert beach. There's no habitation in sight, no market, no very little in a maintained dock. We can disembark and see what awaits us. The growths that appear sparse near the beach but clump together closer the farther inland one goes, clustering tightly into a sort of forest around the base of the island's central hill. You can see off in the distance dots of fire flecking in the horizon, hear clamor, shouts, and shot. If you look into the quay, you can make out unusual shapes of two tiny figures. More, as you step onto the quay, you hear clamor, shouts, and shot. You see off in the distance smoke rising from beyond the hill and dots of fire flecking in the horizon. Two tiny figures. Okay, so this is going to be the Kavis. Let's make a choice. We'll go with the Seneschal. The Seneschal clears her throat with a delicacy to rival the Duchess. Okay, we've already got that. We've already... Oh, never mind. Grayson the King, our Lord and Sovereign, full 7 months has sojourned on the sea, conquered this land, and won the southern main. Now no fortress against him shall remain, no city walls be left for him to gain, save the rats that squeak behind the mountain. Unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance. Assured shall be our glories and their fall, when Our Lady's eye restored be to our hall. Seneschal composes herself, then adds, we saw truth and beauty by the light of Our Lady's eye on Mount Caveat. But the rats, with their guns and their chatter and their peasants' politics, stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are a rabble, and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us? And so we're going to speak to the Seneschal. And we already did that. Oh, never mind. There we go. Favor the Seneschal. You bow to the Seneschal, who purrs with pleasure while the chief engineer gnashes his teeth but keeps his distance. You have chosen wisely, Captain, says the Seneschal. Come, and I will explain our situation to you in further detail. On occurrence, we now have a night out of habit. You have cast your lot with the Cavies. That's so... That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's awesome. The Seneschal leads you to the southern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. You pass through a number of raised mounds of earth mixed with fortifying strips of mushroom flesh, which you suppose to be makeshift walls. The settlement is dazzling. This side of the island appears to be absolutely wreathed in scintillac, the Kavis dwelling awash in silver phosphorescence. You look around. It's a large colony. Most noticeable is the steam pinnace, the impossible lamb that's run aground from which Kavis come and go, bearing supplies. To the right of the ship, further down the beach, a large group of Kavis lay on bundles of colorful cloth, whining and wailing as if in pain. To the left of the ship is a ramshackle tent of poles and linen, in front of which guinea pigs clash against each other and sharpen their teeth. In the center of the village is a covered dais, veritably festooned with colorful cloth and guarded by well-decorated knights. You suspect this is where the King Grayson keeps counsel. By welcome, Captain, And the Council of Kavia, or be welcome, Captain, the Kingdom of Kavia, capital of our isle, and blessed by the light of Our Lady's eye. The seneschal speaks solemnly, but there's a hint of sadness in her words, or so it was and shall be again. I must speak with our king and prepare for your arrival. My page will show you the area and bring in sight of splendor in good time. Page? A much smaller guinea pig, its fur braided with a slender strip of parabola linen, scurries over and bows. The seneschal takes her leave. Ask the page to show us to the barracks. What chance can guinea pigs stand against the weapon might of the Rattus Faber? The seneschal leads you to the southern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. Okay, never mind. We need to skip that. There we go. The page leads you to the barracks, where the knights don't deign to speak to one so undecorated as you. The page, however, is eager to uncover your questions. The rats have no weapons, none to speak of. What is a gun without a bullet, but a sword without a blade? Ours are the weapons, the knives, the soft stuffs, and the glory. Their teeth are sharp, it's true, while ours, the page hesitates as the knights glower at him, are sharper. All praise to the flowers of the house of Kavi. One knight preens while the other grunts with indifference, working a whetstone along its top front teeth. While you watch, a particularly vigorous swipe knocks a hole incisor out of place. It lands on the ground in a black and bloody mess. The knight grasps the tooth and vanishes from sight, while the other glares in a way that dares you to make something of it. I guess we'll go to the steam pinnace for now. The page chitters while you inspect the vessel. Rats never. The splendor of Kavi overtook this vessel. I was born here, the first native of Kavia, but all our elders remember the voyage. It was hard, they say, but we were harder. But the sea is black and unkind. We were lost in the dark for weeks. No one speaks of those terrible times. But out of the darkness came the light of the Lady's eye, guiding us here to our own isle. In time we will ride the waves again, perhaps, once we have recovered our eye. Is it not splendid? It certainly may have been at one time, but you can see the hull's been severely damaged by the Scintillac reef. There's no way the Kavis can hope to repair it themselves. Whatever the page says, they're stranded here. To the hospice. An elderly-looking Kavi greets you, eyeing you gravely. Many of us sickened during the voyage, a rotting in our teeth, a weakness in the flesh. The isle was our salvation. The stronger among us made a pilgrimage towards the pool of Our Lady's light, and then, miracle of miracles, they were cured. They bathed in her, they drank her sweet waters, and the strong brought the weak to her in turn. Soon we were thriving again, bearing our children and raising them to the love of Our Lady's eye and seeing it in our deliverance. The elder looked sorrowfully at the sick under his care. Since the rats stole her, the sickness has returned. All the light is but a mockery of hers, and we gain from it no benefit. The only thing the elder's ears and voice flatten in a hiss that helps our condition is the flesh, the very hearts and livers of the rats that stole her from us. Alright, let's go talk to the king now. Ask the page to take you to the king. You've seen all you need to see here. Time to see if the king is ready to receive you. The page leads you, crouching at first, and then on your knees before King Graysonaw and the seneschal. The king is the largest guinea pig you've ever seen, easily twice the size of the largest knight in his retinue. The seneschal looks positively dainty next to him. We are told, intones the king, that you have promised your assistance to the house of Kavi. Is this agreeable to us? But what form shall your assistance take? So we can obtain the eye through cunning. A 28% chance. We have a 50% chance with guns and a boat to make a raiding party to the northern side of the island, and then we flank the rat settlement. Or we can spare the salves and brews from the hold. We do have a lot of supplies, but I'm feeling let's get our guns on. Let's see here. You gave clear orders. Your navigation was impeccable, but it seems the rats manning the front lines were able to signal the settlement about your attack and keep the Kavis busy for long enough that the chief engineer succeeded in rallying his troops into defensive maneuvers and made it impossible for you to set foot on their beach. You watch helplessly as the Kavis that managed to take to the sediment fall singly and in groups to the ruthless efficiency of the rats. The chief engineer in turn watches you and your crew while he instructs his fellows in setting Kavi heads on pikes and parading them around the shore. Wow. Let's try again. No! Wow, this is not going to our favor. These Kavis suck at fight. I want to win, damn it. With a 50% chance, how are we going this many times in a row? There we go. Finally. I was going to say, what was that, 7 times in a row? So that's going to be 2 to the 17th. It's 1 over 2 to the 7th. Or, I'm sorry, 17th. 1 over 2 to the 7th. That was pretty unlikely that we'd fail that many times. Your plan succeeds brilliantly on the 8th try. Easy enough to sneak up on the settlement when the stolen eye gives off such light and casts such shadows on the shore. Even easier to do what needs to be done when the Kavis are rallied by the sight of their treasure. What follows is a tremendous rout. You see rats ripped apart, throats and bellies torn open, viscera slickening the sand. The Kavis take losses too, but soon the Seneschal declares the day won. You're rewarded with a substantial quantity of scintillac. You see to your surprise that the Kavis have spared a number of the rats' children and rounded them up. You comment favorably on this, praising the Seneschal's high-minded mercy. The Seneschal chitters pleasantly. My dear captain, be assured that we shall treat them very well, but it's hardly mercy that motivates the preservation of the enemy's livestock. A small rat weeps quietly over a parent's severed torso before being prodded and pressed into a march. We gained 1 iron. We got 4 bales of parabola linen. We got 10 fuel. Wait, I thought they said we got scintillac. The scintillac's worth more money. I want that. No! Apparently we don't get scintillac, even though it said that we got scintillac. Where's the scintillac? No, come on. How are you going to say that I get scintillac and then not give me scintillac? It's messed up. Let's see. You've given the House of Kavi all the assistance you can. What next? We can invite a Kavi on board with us. They're reputed to be excellent swimmers. They're adorable enough to boost morale, and if the times are lean, well, maybe a guinea pig stew will buy the crew a day or two before they start eating it. That's terrible. We can intercede on the part of the rats, which we have hearts. We can try. I don't know if I want to take... Let's take the Kavi on board, so we get 1 guinea page. The Seneschal, of course, can't abandon her duties, but she makes certain your request is cried out in the village square. The page squeaks excitedly and seeks permission from her to join the party. I will record your doings for the glory of Kavi, he declares, and I'd like to see more of the world. You wait for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before lifting anchor and setting off. Oh, okay, let's try and intervene. You appealed at the House of Kavi's grace and good breeding and praised King Gracemaw's magnanimity. Perhaps the rats knew not what they did in stealing the eye. Perhaps they were only stumbling about in the dark for a light, as the Kavis were themselves while lost at sea. The Seneschal and the king exchanged a look. The Seneschal murmurs something into the king's ear, and he growls deep in his throat. You saw only the frond tip of our suffering, Captain. The rats must answer for every drop of noble blood spilt in Kahn. We require a great many hearts and livers to repair the health of the great kingdom. Our young shall eat their old as is meet. The king's courtiers chitter appreciatively at his wordplay, while the knights separate the screaming young rats from the adults who have given up trying to fight. Why do we gain terror from that? Oh well. Okay, so we've got a port report for Pigmote, and our terror is super, super high right now. We'll have to do something to keep away from that. I think if we turn in the hunting trophy to various locations, if we can take 5 or 6 hunting trophies, it lowers your terror by like 10 each time that you do it. And so we may be able to get away with that. We have really high hearts, so I was willing to take the extra terror in order to get things done. We should actually check out the guinea page and see what he does. Guinea page? Where is our guinea page at? The guinea page. He gives you +2 to pages. Oh, how punny is that? And he's a... Okay, so instead of hearts, we get 2 to pages. Okay, I'll take extra pages because our pages are pretty low. Anything will help. And pages are actually another decent choice if you're planning on doing a lot of events, because there's always kind of a clever way around things. We found our way to the Canet, as we frequently do. I'm really hoping that these... I'm scared of these things now. Like, I don't want them... Oh, there's my Bollywood beat again. It's like, yeah! Bring those drums. I love it. Get down. Shake it out. Pop and lock. 2-step. Here we go. I'd be dancing coming into port. Awesome. Let's go ahead and we will sit down right here, and we'll take a look and see what we can do at Kahn's Heart for the first time. So we can seek a commercial license, but we don't have the Key of Histories. We can take some time in the tea house for 50. We can hire crew. We can wander Kahn's Heart. Let's do that first. The canals of the heart are lit by incandescent flame lamp bulbs of glass in multitudes of colors, ruby, sapphire, topaz, and emerald by turns. There's nothing else like it in the neath or on the surface. You spend a happy quarter hour strolling the alleyways of the copper quarter until an irritable workman sees you eyeing the bulbs and accuses you of plotting their theft. Okay, so we lost a little bit of terror. That's funsies. Time in the tea. It's gonna be expensive. We can't afford it right now. We can... If we are unlicensed, we can only buy here. Let's show our token. You show the token rather cautiously to a clutch of captives chatting by their warship. One grabs it cheerfully and clasps you on the shoulder. I've heard about you. Come on. I'm buying. With more friendliness than Canadians usually show, they drag you off to a little place by the park and fill you with rare spiced seaweed and elder continent wines. They grumble about chillin' at delinquency, the idiot children of Kahn's shadow, and until they remember you're there, the London captain's cluttering up the clean Z. You get a memory of distant shores, you lose 5 terror, and you lose the horse head. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was hoping it would actually buy our way in. Well, we do have the pearls, and so I think we might consider going up into the north and turning in the pearls to see if we can get the king's favor first, or the Canet's favor. I don't know, let's pay the storyteller, I guess. And so it says, the last great Kahn of the surface was corrupted, foolish, and cowardly. How unfortunate, or how fortunate we are that the leopard clan overthrew his line. Long may the leopard endure. He sold the Canet's capital to the city to the masters of the bazaar to satisfy his greed and escape battle, and so Karakorum fell. So it became below the earth to the long night of the Neath. 700 years ago, Karakorum stood where London now stands. You feel eyes on you. A woman in white and gold uniform watches you closely. The loyalty service is suspicious of foreigners who want to learn Kaganian history. Okay, well, let's go up this way into Kahn's Heart, and we'll check the other location and see if maybe there's anything we can do there. We're not gathering terror or anything right now, so it's worth a little trip around. I mean, we're burning fuel slowly, but we've got so many supplies that I'm not concerned about it. The Kavi's really set us up with good stuff, so we should be alright. I'd also like to sell that parabola linen as high as I possibly can, considering how long it's going to take me to get my terror down and how much money it's going to cost. I do think that I'd like to do that. I'm going to be farming lifebergs anyways in between episodes, so it's not that big of a deal, but still. If we go to Kahn's Glory, I don't think we could have showed the token here. Maybe we could have. I probably should try it here first. What we can do, however, is we have... we can offer a gift to the time, and there it is. This clan is named for a sizable and ferocious fish of the surface. They have a fondness for drowning pearls for some secret clan ritual. We need Timon's Mercy 3. I guess we can cruise past. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't get the difference between the two. So here are the palaces of the Kahn and his court, each a fortress to itself. Sleek lords and ladies in belted robes breakfast on balconies. An unlikely antelope peeks at you from apart. Guns rotate easily on motorized gimbals. And so if we give... There's the gift of... Okay, so we can offer a gift to the leopard. There's also the Timon. I don't know how this is going to work. And so we gain Timon's Mercy. In the yellow chamber by the palace entrance, a masked functionary scrutinizes the pearls. Yes, she says, even through the mask, she does not meet your eyes. She rises, turns, then leaves. That's it? Just yes, no thank you? Fine, then I only came here from super far away. I'm not really going to spy on the Canet for right now because I prefer to keep myself safe. So if we have the Mercy, it looks like we can get suspicion off of our back. I'm not really sure that we can ever truly become like a citizen of Kagania, or like we can never become honored here, but it looks like we do have a couple of options to build ourselves up, but all of them seem to be quite lengthy with regards to how long they're going to take to actually put into motion. I mean, the drowning pearl farming is going to take a while. I'm going to try and keep subterfuge and spying to a minimum while we're here, because I do feel like I want to start maybe cultivating a little bit of a relationship with the Kaganians to see what I can get out of it, because this is an area of the game that we never had any chance to explore. I don't know if there's anything off to the east of this. I may take a look at a map just to find out, because I really don't want to waste my time sailing around in circles unnecessarily. But it's about time for us to break off this episode here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Sunless Sea. I look forward to seeing you all in the next set of episodes. Take care out there, everybody, and as always, I bid you all a fond and farewell. My fond farewell also laced with a lovely little hi-do.